Welcome to Shimmy Sports Talk. I'm your host, Coach BV. I want to thank my sponsors for the show, Doggy Style Hot Dogs and Happy Tree Dispensaries. Well, today I got a real good friend of mine. We go way back to probably 1986, 87. Real good friend of mine, been known for years. My boy, Joe Aska. What's up, Joe? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me today.
No problem, man. No problem, man. So, what you been doing with yourself these days?
Well, my wife and I is running a company called Aska Professional Glass. We do
Okay.
glass service in the state of Oklahoma and around the states. And we also have a company called Iconic Payroll.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, man, we're gonna go back down memory lane a little bit. I want to talk about just kind of talk about your upbringing uh, and everything, and where you grew, was born and where you grew up at. And let's start with that for right now.
I'm originally from the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix, and that's how I was born. I left there in '87 to
Okay.
come to the state of Oklahoma.
Okay.
Prior to that, I was very nervous, coming to Oklahoma when my mom said to me that, hey, it's time for you to go, and just making that move from St. Croix to Oklahoma was very scary.
Mm. I imagine because just different cultures compared to the Virgin Islands and then Oklahoma City. I know there had to be like a big time change.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it was definitely a big time change knowing that, you know, I'm I'm the youngest at the time, and then I'm leaving my mom. I was very close to my mom, and leaving the Virgin Islands to come to Oklahoma. I was coming up to meet with my siblings, my brother and sisters, and you know, just being able to fly by yourself was scary by itself, and that's what I had to do. And man, but at the same time, everything that she explained to me worked out for the best. You know.
Yes, yes, that's good stuff. Yeah. Um, Now, what what got you interested in let's say sports first, and then of course we know you went into football, but what got you interested in sports? Did you start in the Virgin Islands where you from, or did you just started when you got to Oklahoma City?
Well, in the Virgin Islands, we played baseball and ran track and played basketball around the neighborhood.
Okay,
Um, Football wasn't a sport in the Virgin Islands. We didn't play football. We might have watched a little bit of it on TV,
okay,
but most of the time it was all about um, just baseball, track, and basketball.
okay,
And then
okay,
my brother Tony, he came up to Oklahoma before me, and he's 2 years older than me, and he explained to me, he's like, Junie, man, there's nobody up here could beat you in running. I guarantee if you come up here, you will just win everything.
yeah,
And he got me so excited that I wanted to come up here.
okay.
But I also wanted to be with my mom.
So your brother Tony was the one that kind of got you interested in doing sports here in Oklahoma City. And by the way, everybody, uh, myself, Joe, and Tony, we all went to the same high school together. So uh, I kind of knew how he came up, but I just want to know how what got him into doing sports.
Yeah.
And this guy could run. He was pretty fast.
Well, after making that move from St. Croix to the Virgin Islands, I mean from the Virgin Islands to Oklahoma, um, you know, Tony was very excited because I wanted to always be around him. So everything he did, I wanted to do. So when he told me that he was playing football, I said, man, I would love to try it, but you know,
Yeah.
I will give it a shot. And
So when was the first time you picked up a football and started playing?
man, when I left Putnam City Central, I went to PCO High School. is whenever that was the first time I was around the football, hanging around with you guys, and starting to learn everything about it in 1989.
PCO means Putnam City Original in Oklahoma City.
That's right.
Because Putnam City Original, you got other schools like Putnam City North, Putnam City West. We went to the original Putnam City.
Definitely.
Yes.
So, just seeing how you guys play the game, and I'll be like, still like, man, this is crazy that I'm gonna try this out, Um, but at the end of the day, Tony had faith in me, and I tried out, and it was very interesting.
Man, it worked out good for you, huh?
Yeah, it definitely did.
So what was I was there with you your sophomore year, but I was a senior. But then that next year, man, I heard everybody was talking about, man, this Joe Aska guy, he's just blowing up. He's running for 40 yards, 50 yards, 100 yards. So
Yeah.
when did the light bulb click in your head to like, man, I know how to do it. I can do this.
Well, my sophomore year is when I was learning everything,
Yeah, exactly.
being developed, and
Yeah.
understanding the philosophy of what needs to be done and whatnot. And I just observe everything that I can. And then offense wise, because the defense, I didn't know how to read the defense or anything like
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
I was still trying to learn the offense. And from that point on, my junior year, we had a gentleman by the name of Mike Morris that was just as good as you were,
Yeah, I remember
you
Mike.
know,
Yeah.
and it was him and I sharing the field at the time, and I would try to imitate everything he did because I was
Well,
still learning. And when I got the opportunity to start over him, I realized that, man, here it is, he's good, and I'm
yes.
starting over him. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Yes.
So it showed me that I had something there, but I still had a lot to learn,
Gotcha.
and it allowed me to just be able to make decision, and you know, just learn the game more.
Now, still talking about high school, what was some of the accolades by the time, your senior year, finishing up your senior year? What was the accolades you got for high school football?
Um, with football wise, I was all conference player.
Yep.
I played in the East and West Shrine.
Yep.
I played in the Coca-Cola Classic,
Mm.
um, and then the East and West Shrine was the one where we played against Tulsa, right? Oklahoma
Yeah,
against
I
no,
think so.
Oklahoma against Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Oklahoma versus Texas.
yes.
Some of the Texas players.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I played in that game, and then throughout all that we had, I mean, like a lot of good players at the time. We had um, McFadden from
Yeah.
from Eisenhower, London.
Long
I
night.
mean, he was nice. He went to USC. We had Shea Foster from Edmond, or is it
Edmond
Edmond
Memorial.
Memorial?
I think.
That
Did
went
he
to
go to
Michigan.
Michigan? Yeah,
Yeah,
he went to Michigan.
went to Michigan.
Okay.
Um, so there was a lot of guys that that I was able to look up to, and not even think about you know another level, but just looking at what they was
So-
doing to try to
So you was just
imitate.
enjoying the moment.
I was enjoying the moment.
right there.
I never once thought about going to what college I'm gonna be going to to play football or anything like that. I was just enjoying every moment.
By the way, everybody, this guy had world class track speed. Let's talk about your accolades in track as well. Kind of going what you did in high school with
Man,
track.
I mean, to me, track came so easy because just going back to the Virgin Island part, I was always going to the beach, running on the sand, and not knowing that that was just part of like a training to me, but I was having fun. And when I realized that a lot of athletes would train in sand or hills and stuff like that, um, I would always go home every year, and every time I go home, I would train, and that's the part that no one saw, you know. So when I would come back for the school year season, I was in top shape because I was always training, and so every time I would come back, um, you know, and it was track season. Winning all the conference, then went to national, and then I ran against Duell Brewer. That was the number one
Yeah.
recruit that year,
Yes.
and then I beat him my sophomore year,
Yeah.
and he was upset, you know. But
What was that? The 200 meters or 100 meters?
100 meters.
Um, so your sophomore year, you won state as a sophomore, man. That's big stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Who was all running with you? Who'd you beat?
I beat Duell Brewer, Brad Norman in that race because we was running a 100-meter dash, and then we ran the 200-meter dash, and then we had James Trapp that went to Clemson University. He was also an Olympics runner.
Yeah.
We had Brad Norman again running the 200, and then me. So it was James Trapp, me, and then Brad Norman. So.
Okay.
You know,
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy. I got second place, but it was still a good accomplishment,
Wow.
you know.
Nice.
And
Nice.
this is at state my sophomore year. Then the next following year, I won again, and then my senior year I won. So
Okay.
I was able
Yeah.
to accomplish, you know.
Oh, that's good stuff. Did they give you get all state and all that in track?
Yeah, I was Gatorade Player of the Year that year
Yeah. Wow.
for being the number one track athlete in Oklahoma.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, track was something that I love. I wanted to go all the way to Olympics and everything.
Gotcha. Now we got all our accolades in high school. Now here comes college. Now, what college did you go to, and how was that whole trip?
Man, well, my brother went to Cisco Junior College,
Yeah.
and that's where he was. And you know me, I wanted to go wherever he went.
Yes.
So when I realized where the school was, you know, I called him up and said, hey, that's where I want to go. So Cisco Junior College was the first college that I went to.
Okay.
And so I went down there, played football. I didn't run track. And within the third regular season game, my injury that I had back in the Virgin Island was affecting me. So I quit football, had my operation, and I'm talking about my
Now, let's talk about that. Let's kind of go off the sports right now. Let's talk about the health situation you had your freshman year in college, and talk about how it started, you know, and everything like that.
Well, it was a childhood accident where a bullet ricocheted off the street and hit me in the eye, and you know it was very devastating. My family members, you know, rushed me to the hospital. My mom was flying out that day to go visit some family members, and you know she had to get off the plane and turn around. And by the time all said and done, I didn't realize that I was blind until you know went to my another surgery, and they flew me from the Virgin Islands to Baltimore, and that's where I was for almost 3 months, you know, trying to get my surgery, rehab, and everything. But at 9 years old, this happened at 9 years old, and so when all said and done, I lost vision in my right eye. So it was not another situation that I had to, you know, adapt to and.
So you
and
telling
take care.
me you couldn't see out of that eye since 9 years old?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So at 9 years old, I was totally blind in my right eye.
Wow. Wow.
So so then after that, a lot of the kids knew, my childhood friends knew, so they would always tease me and make fun because of the situation, but it didn't bother me because I still, you know, did the things I wanted to do and enjoy. But then, whenever the drug scenes was getting bad there, because my mom worked for the police department for 26 years, she was like, "Hey, Junior, it's time for you to leave because I don't want you around all this stuff," you know.
Gotcha.
So that's when I came up to Oklahoma to visit with my brother and live with my brother and sisters.
Okay. So now we talk about the surgery during college. What surgery did you have to do before you could come back to play?
Well, okay,
college?
so whenever you lose your right eye, or whenever you lose your eye, and um, through an injury, and you still want to keep your eye,
Original,
the original
original
eye,
tissues and
the
all
tissue and
that.
all that in there, so that way it can still function. After a certain amount of years, it dies off.
Okay.
So when you see a lot of elderlies wearing shades and stuff like that, because the light out there
Yeah.
hurts the eyes,
Yes.
and so that was happening to me during high school, but people didn't know I was wearing shades at schools, and one of the people thought it was just being cool while we running track with
But it's
shades
really it was
on.
bothering your eye. Your eyes
My eyes was
helped you
hurt.
to cope better.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly. So then when I was playing football, I said, man, I was getting too much headaches. It's time for me to make that change. So I did that, set out. So then after having the surgery, talking to my doctor, the, the process of having the eye heal, I got a gold
Prost-
shell, a
yeah.
gold prosthetic
Prosthetic.
shell
Yeah.
that went in my eye.
Yeah.
And, and then,
I know that
and,
kind of everybody was kind of creeped out by that,
yeah,
right?
so I got the gold prosthetic stuff because it is so much better for healing and whatnot. So I
Yeah.
got that done. I wanted to make it fun and
Yeah.
exciting. So I went to Coffeyville Junior College now,
Yeah.
so that way I could get my eligibility back up. Took some classes, got eligible during the summer. I was able to run track, and then the next football season I was able to play football. And so everybody there was freaked out because it's like, man, this kid up here has
Yeah.
a goal eye,
Yeah.
and that's up there is what they know me from.
So, Coffeeville.
Hmm.
What was your accolades at Coffeeville before you had to move on to Central Oklahoma?
Well, at at Coffeyville, I was able to just learn the different dynamic on, being at a college for the whole year,
Yeah.
and learning, just living in a dormitory, um, being around, my peers, kids that I knew that I went to high school with, a couple guys that went to school with, um, then being able to, keep my grades up so that way I could be able to perform on the
Yeah.
track and the football field,
Gotcha.
and keep my grades up. Um, and that was the first time that I had a 3-point grade average.
Okay, that's what's up. That's
You
good.
know? So I
That's
was keeping
good.
my academics up and doing everything that I need to do because I was very driven because now I don't have that headache. I don't have to deal with the stress. I'm able to perform in the classroom and on the field, and I was very excited. And then is whenever um, Dick Foster, that coach at OU,
Yeah.
his son Skip Foster was the
Yeah.
head coach at Coffeyville.
Okay.
So Dick would always tell his son, "Hey man, you need to recruit this kid Joe Aska because he's nice
Yeah.
and he has good speed and all that." But I had a scholarship for track at Coffeyville, not even football. So when the
Okay.
football season came around is when they offered me a scholarship because
Okay.
they knew from what his dad was saying. And so I was able to get, conference player of the year a couple
Okay.
of weeks in a row, and ball out,
Killing
killing it.
it.
And
Good.
now, remind me, I still not thinking about the NFL.
Yeah.
By no means,
Yeah.
I'm still enjoying having
Just doing
fun.
college, being a kid. Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Joining
I'm
college.
excited. Listen to the other teammates talk about the NFL and whatnot,
Yeah.
but
It wasn't thinking big thing about
still wasn't in my
it.
mind.
So you're done at Coffeeville. Now you move on. Who recruited you to go to Central Oklahoma?
Paul Parent,
Okay.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
was also a track coach.
Oh, nice. So
So-
you kind of went there more for track.
Yeah.
and
So
then
back
football.
again. So back again, football wasn't itself on my radar. It was everything was track.
Gotcha.
Here it is, my junior year. I'm there for well it'll be so it'll be my junior year. I'm there for track. I won state and indoors.
Mhm.
So here it is at UCU. I'm the first
Hold on,
individual.
let's go back to the track part. I heard a story
Go ahead.
heard a story, man. Indoor 60.
Uh-huh.
You raced some guy named Maurice Green, huh?
Yep,
And I heard you beat this guy, Maurice Green,
I sure
in the
did.
indoor 60
Uh-huh.
in college.
Yeah.
And Maurice, is that the Maurice Green that was in the Olympics?
Yep, and I won the Olympics.
And he won the Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, he was pretty fast, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go on.
So my junior in at UCO, so I'll end up winning the same race that you talk about
Yes.
in college. So I was the only kid at that university to win an individual event, and so I was able to do that. So I was very proud of accomplishing that goal. And then my no, that was so that would be my sophomore year. So then my junior year is whenever my sophomore year is when I played football for
Yeah.
UCO.
Yeah.
Did a lot of great things. Only had like 300 or something yards because we had two guys in front of me by the name
Yeah.
of Glenn Starks and Tyrone Jones. And there was more thing about moving on to the NFL and watching them perform and play. I'm like, I'm way better than them,
Yeah.
And that's when it started clicking that
Yeah.
all the NFL scout that
Yes.
was coming to watch them was not only watching them but watching me. But I never knew that until my coach pulled me to the side and he said, "Hey, Joe, all these scouts that come to see Glenn and Tyrone, they're more interested in you
Yeah.
because they're more interested in your speed
Mhm.
and the talent that you have." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah." So then my coach was like, my track coach was like, "So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna play football or are you gonna run track?" I said, "No, I mean I'm running track. So then my senior season, not senior season, but junior season, he was like, you got more scouts coming. My first game, I rushed for 180 something yards. My
Yeah.
second game, 299 yards.
Yeah.
My third game, we undefeated. We playing Langston University where my
Yeah.
brother's playing.
Yeah.
He's undefeated,
Yeah.
and
So
they're
that's-
ranked number 2 in the nation. We ranked number 4 in the nation.
Yeah.
So it's a sold out stadium, and I rushed for 316 yards off of
Wow.
18 carries.
Wow.
So I broke the NCAA record that day,
Yeah.
and so I was on ESPN, everything. So now the buzz is up there.
Yeah.
This kid from University of Oklahoma rushed for 318 yards off of 18 carries. ESPN is out there. I mean, all the NFL scouts is out there the next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm going up to Kilgore to play these guys up there, and they have a good university. Well, we end up losing that game, but I still rush over 100 yards. No one
Yeah.
has rushed over 100 yards against this team. And so now that was our first loss. And that's when it hit me that, man,
So yeah, your confidence went through the roof.
yeah, because now the scouts is telling me that you're going to be a first round pick, and you have the opportunity to do so much great things.
Nice.
I'm still in my mind saying track is what I want to do.
Yeah,
I want to go
exactly.
to Olympics.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
all I'm thinking about. I
Yeah.
want to go to Olympics.
Yes.
And my coach is telling me, well, the Olympics is not going to pay you like football will.
Yeah.
So
No.
you might as well just stick with football. And that was something that I just regretted not doing, was running track like I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I followed the football
Probably could have
situation.
did both. Probably could have
Could've.
did both, right?
Yeah, I could have, but it's just crazy.
All right. So you killing it at Central Oklahoma. So after your senior year,
Junior year
after your junior year at Central Oklahoma, you decided to go
to the
pro
NFL.
or
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah.
So your junior year in college,
hmm
you went to combines and all that. What was the first combine you went to?
Well, it was in Indianapolis at the Indianapolis
The main one.
headquarters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got invited to go to that. Well, first, before I went to the combines, I got invited to go to the East and West Bowl game,
Okay.
where I was MVP at that game.
Okay.
um, and that's whenever I think Terrell Davis played in that game, a whole bunch of other running backs.
Okay.
And then after that was the Hula Bowl when we had Cordell Stewart playing for that team. We had that defensive back from Florida, not defensive line, defensive line, Alexander. So then from that point on, that's when I get invited to the up in Indianapolis, and I showed out and I ran the fastest 40 time in the running back.
So the 40. What was your 40 time?
Well, my 40 time when they came in and ran it was my first time was a 4:19, and it was like, nah, that can't be true.
A 4:29 or
4:19.
4:19.
Yeah.
So that was your first. Hold on. Let's rewind this back. You ran a 4:19.
Yeah.
In your first run in the 40.
Yes.
Wow. Hold on. How much was you weighing too? What was your weight at the time?
230 pounds.
230. 230.
Yeah.
All right. Continue.
So then they were like, man, that can't be right. That can't be right. So run it again. So I ran it again. So I ran a 4:21.
Okay.
And then they said, can you just run it one more time for me? So I ran it one more time for them, and then I ran a 4:26. So it was still good time. So the scouts and them was like, man, this kid is crazy.
Yeah.
So here it is, Atlanta 49ers, they all call me up. The Raiders never once called me. You know, It was always 49ers, Atlanta, and then another team that I can't remember. But 49ers like, okay, Joe, we're going to get you in the first round pick. And then next thing you know, they did this quality health test on you where they check everything out and whatnot.
Yeah.
Then to find out that I lost
one eye.
I have one eye,
Yeah.
you know. And they was like, okay, so you've been doing all this and no one knew you had one eye.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
It was crazy, and I was like, yeah. I just told my, sports, my team doctors not to share nothing with the coaches, with nobody, just between you and me,
Yeah.
So no one knew that I was dealing with that problem.
Yeah.
The only thing that helped me, because they was going to do a big story on that, and
So we talk about who's going to do the big story on it.
well, the news media was going to do a big story
Okay.
because the NFL has, exposed my situation.
Yes.
And the Oklahoma City bombing happened.
Oh man. Yeah.
And here it is. I'm saddened for what happened, but I was happy that it took the spotlight off of me because I wasn't all about that.
Yeah.
And so everybody was focusing on the Oklahoma City bombing at that time, where they wasn't worrying about me.
Yeah. It took a lot of spotlight off of you.
Yes.
And all
Yes.
that. Yeah. So after all that, Joe, what round did you end up going in the NFL?
Well, I ended up going in the third round by the Los Angeles Raiders at the time. And then we was moving to the Oakland Raiders, but I got drafted as the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
I was an 87 player taken overall.
Okay.
I was very excited about it because I got drafted. The 49ers ended up taking J.J. Stokes, the
Okay.
receiver from USC USC. And UCLA, that's what it was, UCLA. But, I was so happy that I was able to be a part of, the NFL. So it didn't matter what round I got drafted and whatnot, I had the opportunity to go there and play. And then after going to training camp and whatnot, being around Tim Brown, Jeff Hosteller, Harvey Williams, Derek Finner, all these pro athletes that you watch on TV, and you're saying to yourself, man, you're around these Pro Bowlers and Heisman Trophy winners. It was crazy. And
Who was your coach at the time?
Mike White.
Mike White was the head coach.
Mike White was the head coach. So
Okay.
my years of playing out there, I had 3 head coaches.
Yeah. Who was your favorite one?
Who was my favorite one?
Out of all 3 of those.
None.
None of them. Did you play for Gruden?
Yeah.
Coach Gruden?
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
what kind of guy? Because he seems like is a funny character type guy.
Well, I mean, so. Remember now, so I played 3 years of
Yeah.
3 years of high school,
Yeah.
3 years of college,
Yeah.
and then I'm in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning.
Still learning.
I'm
right.
still learning the game.
Yeah. No
And
doubt.
then they wanted me to come in from a tailback position to play fullback, so
Okay.
that way I could be in the same backfield with the first round pick that
Gotcha.
they picked, Napoleon Kaufman.
Yeah.
So they pick another running
Now,
back.
this is your third year?
No, I'm talking about my first year.
First year. Okay,
So,
gotcha.
so the Raiders that year when they picked me, picked Napoleon Kaufman in the first round from Washington,
Gotcha.
and he was a running back.
Yep.
So they picked
Remember
him,
him.
and then in the second round they picked Barrett Robinson. The third round they picked me.
Yep.
So here it is. They picked 2 running backs in the
Yeah.
same round. That's
Yeah.
I'm considered a first round pick that they
Yeah.
got lucky
Yeah.
and got in the third round. You know.
Yeah.
So now they want us to be in the backfield together. They want me to play fullback. I'm like, never done it, you know.
Yeah.
So I gotta get down and hit
You gotta
people
start
like
learning.
you did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had to do what I need to do to survive and,
Oh, yeah.
and stay in the game. And that's whenever Tim Brown, James Jett, all those guys, another Olympic runner, you know, right there, was saying to me, "Hey Joe, the whole thing about being in the NFL is finding that niche that's going to get you to perform, to be around, even if it's special team or whatever the
Yes.
case is, you know." And that's what I did. Plus, you know, did the running back. So my first year was once again learning.
Yeah.
Mike White, to be honest, they wanted to get rid of me that first year because I wasn't performing that well as a fullback.
Yeah.
But the moment they put me as a tailback, I'm tearing it up.
Yeah.
And then Davis was like, "No, we're not getting rid of him," you know.
Yeah.
And
So Davis meaning Al Davis, the
Yeah.
owner. Yeah.
oh yeah, so Al
Okay.
Davis, and then so the next year, Mike White got fired. So the offensive coordinator Joe Bugle ended up being the coach. So before the season even started, the same thing. He didn't like me, but at the end of the day, Al Davis wanted me there. So now I'm able to play tailback and to perform. So I'm tearing it up and I'm doing
Yeah.
everything that they need me to do. So now he's seeing that, okay, this guy could really play,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I'm doing everything that I need to do to stay on the team, plus perform on the special team and all that. And, you know, scoring touchdowns. Then my third year, they got rid of Joe Bugle, brought in John Gruden in 1998. So it'd be the 1998 99 season. So I'm performing again for John Gruden. But now he wants me to play a fullback again.
Yeah, kind of
'cause he
like
wa-
Coach White.
Exactly. So
Gotcha.
it's all over again.
Yeah.
But remind me now, we have a book this big
Yeah.
that we have to learn. So every year I have a different coach. I have to learn
Different
all-
playbook.
Different playbook. I have to
Yep.
learn all these plays, learn
Wow.
all these systems, you know, formation, everything. And then Joe Bugle was more of a better coach, you know.
Yeah.
And he would have one play that he could run in 10 different formation,
Yeah.
you know. And one
So Coach Bugle was out of those 3 coaches was the main coach that you was more comfortable playing for.
Well, I'm not going to say most comfortable. I just didn't like a lot of things he did, but at the end of the day, I knew he was my coach, and
Yeah.
I had to, you know, play for
Yeah.
him. And that's the same thing with Mike White and John Gruden. You know, John Gruden was a better coach. It's just that, you know, when he wanted me to play a fullback, and remind me now, he's seen something that I'm not seeing. I'm still
Yeah.
young. I'm still
Yeah.
learning.
Still learning.
And
That's right.
to this day, he was the better coach, but I never saw it at the time,
Yeah.
you know. And after getting older and leaving there to go to Indianapolis,
Yeah.
you know, because I got released from the end. I made it all the way up to training camp, and then I got released, and then I went up to Indianapolis.
So you got released from the Raiders and then went to Indianapolis.
Went to
Okay.
Indianapolis,
Okay.
and then so I was there with Edwin James, Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
So everything is going good. I'm doing the same thing. I'm performing. I'm running good, playing good on special teams, all that. And then my mom got ill. So now everything changed because now I don't want to play football no more. I'm focusing on my mom. That was my main focus. So they was like, hey man, we want to have you around because we need, another back because Edwin's a rookie. We need more of a veteran back there and whatnot. And you know, um, I'm still learning everything. Still trying to grasp process what's going on with my mom. She was diagnosed with cancer, and so that's hitting me hard. And I'm like, it's just time for me to go.
Yeah.
So after that, I left. I got released by Indianapolis, and then I just focused on just being around my mom.
Gotcha. So did he do a stint with XFL?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, the XFL came out, and then my special team coach, Rusty Tillman, that was with the Raiders, he was like, "Hey, Joe, I know you don't want to play football, but I would like for you to, play for me because, I know what you could do." And he was like, "You don't have to come to training camp. Just show up, to the regular season and whatnot." Next thing you know, I got there, and man, everything was nice. I mean, it was like regular football. I thought it was going to be just different, and that turned out good. And then we had a total of 6 teams. So it was a guy that came out from Nebraska, Lawrence Phillip.
Yeah,
he played. He was a tough kid, man. He got drafted to the Rams back then, but he played for one of the teams out there as well. And so him and he was a leader rusher. I was second after him. So it was pretty nice. Okay.
And then where was that at? What team was it?
Mine was the New Jersey Hitmen.
Okay, yeah. And that league only ended up lasting for like a year, right?
Just a season.
Just a season.
Just a season.
But it was it was good times.
Oh, definitely. It was definitely a good situation, and throughout the whole time, I was able to meet good people and do a lot of good things.
Now, talking about sports, now we're transitioning into what you're gonna do now. How was that transition from being a professional athlete and now like, man, what's next for me?
Well, I mean, like, and then going back to the XFL, so here it is. I'm playing the XFL, and I told you, my coach is like, "Hey, when you're ready, come up." And the reason why he said that is because at the time, I was going through a separation with my ex-wife, and he was like, "Hey, you just come up whenever you're ready to come up." So I flew home, and I met with my best friend JR, Archie Harkins. And he was one of my teammates at Coffeyville, Kansas, and he brought me home from the airport, picked me up, and he knew I was going through some rough time because just trying to communicate with the whole situation. And then he took me out to get me all relaxed and whatnot. So I wasn't the type of guy that went to the clubs and whatnot. So he took me to this place called Henry Hudson, and so I was like, what we gonna do up here? He said, "Man, this is where we just come and just hang out." So next thing you know, 4 ladies walk in, and I'm saying to myself, I know he's gonna go talk to them, and sure enough, he did. So I'm like, shit, So now he wants to go see what they're doing. I'm sitting right here, I'm not moving, So he went over there, started talking to them, and he's like, "Joe, come over here. So I came over there, and next thing you know, sat down next to a lady, and now she's my wife for the last 50, 60 years.
Well, it was a good thing you went to Henry Hudson's, or you might have met this beautiful lady, right?
Yeah, definitely. But it was just funny though, So it was just crazy.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Sometimes you don't mean to be at a place or whatnot, but it also works out for the best.
There you go. Now, Man, I just kind of want you to let everybody know, because you got your own business now.
Yeah.
You and your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just tell everybody, what you're doing and how they can get in contact with you guys if they need your services, because you're doing some great things right now. Go ahead and tell everybody.
Yeah. We started Aska Professional Glass LLC back in 2017, and what we do, we provide service for commercial buildings and residentials. So we provide glass services. We do storefronts for commercial, from curtain walls to storefronts. We also do residentials. We do glass replacements. We do storm doors, patios. You know, um, they can reach us at Aska Professional Glass with www.askaprofessionalglass.com, askaprofessionalglass.llc.com, and that's our website.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can they call you guys as well, or?
Yeah, oh,
You
definitely.
got a contact number?
Yeah, 405-343-0150 is our contact number.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's one more thing I forgot. Hey man, congratulations on making the Hall of Fame at Putnam City Original, or Putnam City Schools, period, all the Putnam City schools, and making the Hall of Fame for University of Central Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That was past year, right?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on that, big dog.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely an honor. Matter of fact, the UCO Hall of Fame, I think that happened in 2013 or 14,
Okay.
and then the Putnam City Hall of Fame was last year.
Last year,
But we had the ceremony this year.
Okay.
You know,
That's-
but we also have another business called Iconic Payroll Group.
all right.
That we has as well. You know.
Okay. And what's the contact information with that?
The contact information is they could reach them at Tina dot Aska at iconicpayroll group.com.
Group.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, hey, big dog, I appreciate you, man, coming to my podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
Coach BV, my boy Joe Aska in the house. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Shimmy Move Sports Talk. Once again, I want to thank my sponsors. Doggy Style Hot Dogs, got the best hot dogs in the country, and Happy Tree Dispensaries. You guys have a great day. Peace.